Have you ever wanted to show someone a magic trick, but saying the words, "Would you like to see a magic trick?" felt really awkward? Because I'm guessing you're not alone. Because I think the weird thing is, a lot of people would love to see a magic trick. And us underperforming hobbyists, we don't have a magic problem. We have a confidence problem. And sometimes I think the hardest part about magic isn't the method. It's the permission, It's the permission to be playful. It's the permission to perform. It's the permission to share our little miracles with people, And what I want to do, one of my main goals with this channel is to encourage other underperforming hobbyists to go out there and share magic with the world. Lord knows we need it right now, you know what I mean? So I think it would be really good for the community. I think it would be really good for us. And I think I found a really good way of getting it out there. I'm wearing this t-shirt from Reed Ferry. It's called the Show Me a Trick tee. Yes, I have two of them. They're that good. There's a reason behind why I have two of them. But I want to stick to the main point of the video, which is this has asked to see a magic trick on the back. It also has a built-in magic trick in the t-shirt, which is very, very cool. And if you didn't know about this, I really wanted to sort of shine the spotlight on it and signal boost it to, I guess, the audience who really need it, the underperforming hobbyists of the world. There's a few more things I can tell you about the t-shirt, but I want to tell you my personal experience of me the first time I ever wore this t-shirt. I went to a cider and sausage festival, and I got out the car, and I was halfway across the car, not even halfway across the car park, before someone was like, "Show me a magic trick." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I went up to I remember these two girls, they were both called Alison, they both had babies. I knew one of them, we're like, "Oh, hey, last time I saw you were pregnant in the swimming pool." She was like, "Oh, yeah." And now we've got a little baby, and we're having a little chat. Anyway, I showed them some magic, it was brilliant. There's a built-in trick in the t-shirt, which is really good. I'll get onto that later. But my point is, I hadn't even made it in there yet, and I was already performing magic. And it was the first time I wore the t-shirt, and I thought, wow, amazing. One of the hardest things about magic, really, is getting someone to want to see a magic trick. This is such a great hack. It's such a fantastic idea. Anyway, for the rest of the night, I was performing magic the most I've ever performed magic when outside of like a gig, like where I've gone specifically to perform magic for people. People were like going, "Show us a magic trick then." I remember it was just so funny. I remember at the end of the night, this woman come up to me. She's like, "Oh, listen, I've been seeing you going around all night, and I just really wanted to, my boyfriend told me not to. She said, oh, don't bother him, but I really want to see a magic trick. Can you show me one?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's so adorable. Like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to show you a magic trick." And then you roll into the routine. So I'll sort of I'll go into it a bit now, basically. So Reed described it at first as a bit of a gag, asked to see a magic trick. "You want to see a magic trick? A magic trick. Way." Stage one. And I remember this particular girl. She's like, I actually thought you were going to show me a magic trick. I was actually quite disappointed. Amazing. First step, lull them into a sense of disappointment. Like, I thought you might have been a natural magician. And I said, I'm sorry. Maybe I could try something. Why don't you think of a playing card? And she said, "Okay, I'll think of a playing card." I said, "What if I could make your card appear on my shirt?" And she said, "Well, that would be amazing." I said, "What card are you thinking of?" She said the 7 of Hearts. In full disclosure, I got very, very lucky that she chose the 7 of Hearts. There's certainly multiple different ways you can handle these situations. It doesn't work for every card. I'm not giving too much away. I think Reed says this. It's a multiple out effect, essentially. I think it can be 13 of the 52 cards without, again, giving too much away. But she said the 7 of Hearts. And when she said the 7 of Hearts, I was like, bingo. I was trying to keep a poker face because I knew that I had something in my back pocket. It was very much like looking down at pocket aces and you're like, "Ooh, play it cool, play it cool." So anyway, I was like, "Okay, so the 7 of Hearts, that just came to you, right? There's no way I could have influenced you." And she said, no, just the 7 of Hearts. And at this point, remember, her guard is down, her expectations are low. And I said, "What if I could make your card appear on my shirt?" Well, watch very carefully. Look at this. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Boom, your card. And she said, yeah, very funny. Like, bit of a cheesy dad joke. And she said, that's okay, very good, And I said, no, okay, I can tell that you're disappointed. I'm really sorry. How about if I could actually make your card appear on my shirt? And she said, "Okay, yeah, go for it." And I said, "What about this?" And I don't know if you guys can see, but there it is, the 7 of hearts, right there in plain sight. And she was like, what? Oh my God, no way, no way. All of a sudden, it's gone from 0 to up here. She's like, no way, unbelievable, I can't believe that. No way. She said, and this was what blew me away. I guess sometimes you forget what happens in the spectator's mind, but I remember that her words were this: I can't believe you got me to pick the 7 of hearts. In her mind, that's the only possible explanation for the trick, right? That I've forced her somehow to pick the card that was on my shirt. She's like, no way, that is amazing. Oh my God. Anyway, by this time, I was already talking to someone as well. So there were like a little bit of a crowd of people. And I said, yeah, would you like to see something else? Pull out my wallet, do a little bit of a rejoined express and, go into a few other things. And by that time, I'm literally performing magic. Boom, I'm in there. Not only have I impressed her, she's come up to me and asked the trick. And again, this was happening all night long. At one point, I remember thinking, Jesus, I think I should have bought a spare t-shirt, because I remember one point, it was quite late and these lads were at the table and they're like, show us a magic trick. And I was like, ugh. I was like, no. Because, I think I should have brought a hoodie or anything to just it is like a magic magnet. It is a very, very, very powerful tool. And it's something that I would highly recommend. I said this wouldn't be a review channel, but this is an openly biased, highly recommended product for you guys. Especially if you're hoarding magic. I think this is a really good way. You just wear this down the pub and I guarantee someone will ask to see a magic trick. And I think the only problem that you'll have is that you'll be too scared to wear the shirt because once the first time you wear it, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm actually performing magic. And if I wear this out, I'll have to do magic. And there is this weird thing, like I say, I love this t-shirt. It's very, very cool. The reason I have 2 of them is because when I got it, I made some suggestions to Reed, which he really took on board, like very graciously, and he made some of the adjustments and he sent me the one with like the new updated version. So that's why I have 2. But yeah, it's a fantastic product, especially for underperforming hobbyists. And the other thing I wanted to say was about sharing our miracles, about sharing our little miracles with people. It is so important to do that. I know that they're wonderful, and like I said to you before, sometimes the hardest part isn't the method, it's the permission, right? And sometimes when we call them tricks, right? I think there's a little problem with the wording. Tricks implies that, oh, I'm going to go up to this guy and I'm going to trick them. I'm going to show you a trick. Whereas I feel like we should call them little miracles, because for me, it's never about tricking someone. It's about sharing something. It's about sharing something very special with them. It's about sharing an impossible moment that is highly unlikely and can't be explained. And I love not performing with an ego. I love if at all I can get the participant to feel like they've done the magic. And I really want to explore this in further videos, that they've done that, or we're witnessing something crazy, like wildly unlikely. And I'm like, wow, not just, isn't this amazing? Think of a card, this is your card. I'd like to get the spectators really involved in a moment of shared wonder, and I just love to just leave them marinating in the mystery, and they're like, no way. And I just want that to be, magic for me is much more about connection than ever it is about fooling other people. It's always about, again, like one of the things I remember most about showing the magic tricks to the girls with the babies was the fact that, we spoke about babies. We were, it's a conversation starter. Once you're in there, once you've showed them your magic, you don't have to be a performing monkey. You show them 3 or 4 tricks and then you have a chat with them, Magic's much more about entertaining and conversation, and scripting sometimes, rather than just magic. It's not just magic all the time. It's not like bam, bam, it's about connection, and that's what it is for me. And I think that is something that we need more of in the world. And I think it's something that we could definitely do more of with the aid of this t-shirt. So I'll leave a link in the description where you can find the trailer and the link where to buy it, and you can, and if this is something that vibes with you. But I really do want to encourage on this channel. I want to encourage all the underperforming hobbyists out there to perform more magic, to get out there and perform for other people outside of our family and friends, but to connect with strangers. In the world where people are just walking around like zombies looking at their phones, they would love a magic trick. You know what I mean? If you ever see magic reactions, that's possible. That is really, really possible. It's just sometimes we're just too damn bashful to just go ahead and do it. And so yeah, there's a lot more I want to add about how to introduce magic like organically without having to say those words. Would you like to see a magic trick? And I'd like to explore that in future videos. But for now, this is a fully Fred endorsed, underperforming hobbyist endorsement. I would highly recommend this t-shirt, and I think you'll really get your money's worth out of it. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.